Hey guys, this video we're going to be checking out another new micro drone. It's the awesome Youbi 95, and it's very similar to the awesome F100 I reviewed last week. You got these 2-inch gem fan props in white and black 2035s. Comes with some prop guard just like the F100. Get a spare canopy in black. Get a 500 milliamp hour 2S LiPo with a JST connector. And a spare rubber band, a receiver connector, and screws for the props. And here's the drone itself. This is the XM or the FreeSky version. I'm probably going to have to replace this receiver like I did on the F100 because it had binding issues with my Tyrannus QX7. But we have similar motors here to the King Kong 95 GT. And honestly, it looks a lot like the 95 GT. Similar frame, similar cutout on the bottom there, similar rubber band here. But the components inside are completely different. The motors here are awesome branded. I think they're 1103s. Yeah, they're 1103 7500 kV, black, and I like the motors that come from Awesome. The purple ones on the F100 and the Awesome 95 are very nice and pretty good motors on 2S. Get the same landing feet and motor guards on the other models. I'm going to go ahead and I'll pop this little canopy off here. It does come with a cutout here for the USB port that the Youbi 130 did not have. We had to manually cut our own little port there, but there's no button for the video transmitter button, so change your bands and channels. It should be around here somewhere, so we had to take the canopy off to set our bands and channels. So getting the canopy off is a bit tricky with this little antenna here. You have to be careful because I did pull up on the antenna. It did pop off, but you can just snap that right back on. This little white glue, rubber glue here, is not very good at holding it down. So you gotta push that back down in and make sure that it doesn't pop off, otherwise you might fry your video transmitter. The camera itself is glued in to the canopy here, so you'll have to dig that out if you want to switch to the black canopy. And it looks like it's actually attached to the canopy itself, so changing it out might be challenging, and that also means that the camera angle is completely fixed, but it's pretty easy to just disconnect the camera right there. That's your camera port. This other port here is for the receiver that goes underneath and goes to the XM receiver right there. And as you can see here, it's got the same sort of non-standard board here. I think it's 20 by 25 millimeters for the whole pattern, and you get your 4-in-1 Beal-Heli ESCs, 10 amps, and this flight controller here has the video transmitter integrated into the flight controller. It's an Omnibus F3 with an OSD. I think that's why it's a bit longer, because of the integrated video transmitter here. Just like the F100, the motors are plug and play, so basically they just plug into these little micro connectors here, so if you need to replace the motor, you can just swap it out by just unplugging and plugging it in. I know there's some questions as to where to get these motors. I think that these spare motors and flight controllers are available on GearBest as spare parts. I know for sure that the flight controller ESC combo is definitely available on GearBest. And something I noticed here, that the bottom plate has the same cutouts that the Youbi 130 had. I'm not sure why they're doing that. I think it's because the canopy sits flat if there's a little indentation here, because they did this on the 130 where they needed little indentations to make sure this canopy laid down flat right there where the these little protrusions are, but that will definitely weaken the carbon. Let's see. Well, it doesn't seem too bad for what it is. Let's see how thick this main plate is. Comes in at 2 millimeters, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I'm concerned about that cutout there in the carbon. It just weakens the whole frame. Although these 2-inch ones would take a tremendous impact to snap an arm here. It does seem fairly stiff. Okay, we'll get a quick weight measurement here. This is without the props. So it just comes in at about 43.7, and then if we throw on some props. So with the props we're talking about 48 grams for the Youbi 95. So just like on the F100 review, I'm going to fly this with all the stock settings. I'm just going to bind my radio and set some modes for arming, and I'll just fly it with the stock PIDs so you guys can see what this flies like out of the box without any modification, so you guys can have an idea of what it would be like for you guys to just buy this, stick the props on, do a couple of quick changes in the configurator so that it works with your radio or transmitter, and then go and fly it. So I'm going to do the same thing, and we'll go out to the field and I'll show you some line of sight and FPV footage. Looks nice and smooth, very stable. Let's do a quick punch out. This is with the stock battery. Not too bad on 2S. Very floaty up there. Come on down. Seems like it's got pretty good power. Let's do some flips. The stock PIDs seem to be pretty good. Very smooth. I think with a better battery, it should have some pretty good power. The battery in there's not too bad though. All right, let's do some FPV. So here's the FPV flight demo, and I realized as soon as I start flying this that the PIDs are a little bit low to my liking. This is just my personal preference. I think that other people may like it a little bit more loose like this. However, you know, this is nothing that I am not used to and I can't adjust to, and you'll see as I continue to fly, I adjust to the PIDs in my flying, and it actually starts looking to fly better as I fly a little bit more, and it has nothing to do with the PIDs. It just has to me as a pilot adjusting to the PIDs that I were given. It's for the PIDs out of the box, totally flyable, but you know, this is all subjective, and that's kind of why I think PIDs are something that you're going to have to tune for yourself to what you like. I think the PIDs out of the box here are a little bit loose for me, but again, as I said, you may like it because some people prefer other settings. Now as for the camera here, you can obviously see here that there's something wrong with the camera that I was given. I've seen some other reviews on this model, and the image did not look this blown out. I'm not exactly sure what's up with this camera. It's very blown out. You can see that pretty much everything's sky, the ground, everything's way overexposed, and it's probably just something up with this particular camera that I have. And unfortunately, there's no way to change the settings on these micro cameras. They're pretty much fixed. So something probably got messed up in the factory. I don't think that this is typical for this model, because I saw some other reviews and their videos seem to be okay, so I think maybe I just got a bad camera. overall, I think this is a pretty good model. It's not super fast, it's not a rocket ship, so if you're looking for something like that, I definitely look for a different model. I think this is something I would classify as a good park flyer, and probably a good flyer for someone that's a beginner, because it's going to fly slow and predictable, and I think that's something that's going to be better for a beginner. But if you're an expert pilot, I would probably look at something else with a bigger motor, maybe 3S, something like the SBC Maker 95GF, for example, one of my favorites currently. But if you're a beginner looking for something not too expensive but flies fairly well, I think this is one worth considering. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for this review. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this model, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.